1950s, young men looking for adventure were drawn to Glenhaughton Station, Taroom, way out west on the banks of the Dawson River. The excitement of tying scrubbers, good mates and mustering camps will never be forgotten. More than 60 years on, those old mates met again when they returned one last time to the mustering camp at the old Tin Hut in the beautiful Amphitheatre. I caught up with my dad and a few mates to talk about the good old days, way back when they were young Glenhaughton Ringers. So here we are out at the Tin Hut at the Ringers reunion with Lex Smith, Bronc Bradshaw and Nugget Roser. So Dad, when you come out in 1957, you hadn't been a ringer before. So you would have had to watch people and learn and get different techniques for throwing bulls and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that was all new to me. Yeah. We were on a farm down in Ipswich.
I remember you telling me you came across Nugget. He was a really good athlete and good on his feet. And you saw him doing something when he was chased by a bull. And it was a good way to protect yourself. So what did Nugget used to do?
Well, I still remember this as plain as anything. He must have got off to tie something and he ended up, the beast was charging him. And he just jumped behind the nearest tree with a sapling only about that big, and it's charging the sapling, and I got down there like that, thumbing it in the eyes. And he was doing that, and then until it turned to run away, and then when it turned to run away, he grabbed it by the tail and put it down. I remember it, and I copied his style.
And it worked for you?
Yeah, but yeah. I liked it. That's all right.
Did you do the same thing? You use the saplings the same way?
Oh, everybody did, yeah. I did use a bent one day and jumped over it, the bark had come underneath it.
So tell me how yours went.
Mine didn't go too good at all.
What happened?
Jumped behind a wattle tree, which wasn't very big, only 2 or 3 inches, and it had a branch coming from down low. And I sort of stood it, jumped out to get him to come around the other way, and he went the other wrong way. Bull went the wrong way. Oh, well, I went the wrong way. The bull followed, and and I ended up on his horns. He hit me from the knee up to the groin. It was only the belt I had on that saved me, I reckon. And I fell, I pushed myself off his head, and I started kicking him in the head. And luckily for me, he took off, ran away.
Were you hurt?
No, I wasn't hurt. The pride was. But
Did it rip your jeans?
ripped the jeans from the knee up to my belt. Yeah, so no, I was very lucky.
Very lucky. Have any other near escapes?
Oh, there quite a few, I suppose.
Yeah, but they didn't feel like escaping.
When you had them, it's all timing, and when you jumped off, if you timed it right, you catch the tail before they'd realise you was on them. But once they jumped round and bailed up, they were waiting. But the tree was the only way, and the big thing was don't leave your tree. You've always got to stay at that tree. But that's it.
So because you stepped to the side, the bull could actually get its head under the branch.
That's right. Well, it was on a wattle tree. The branch was probably only an inch thick or something like that, you know.
So what were you thinking? Why'd you do that?
What was I thinking? Just thinking of putting him down. But anyway, he got away. The horse I was riding, the jackaroo that was with me, he was chasing my horse. So he got away that day.
Do you remember who you were with?
The bloke from Canberra.
Yeah, they sent him to Glenhaughton because he was getting too friendly with the boss's wife.
No, do it.
Gentleman, that's
yeah,
it.
Bob Kellerman.
Yeah. was chasing the horse away trying to catch it.
He was a good help in one way because he used to carry our spare time straps. He'd have them all out over his shoulder and around his belt, and that's where they stayed.
Yeah.
He never used them.
So you always had spare ones when he was around? What about you, Bronc? You would have had a lot of near escapes. When you were, what was your first one? Do you remember? Because you're only 15 when you came.
Yeah, but only learn and then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You would have had to have some close escapes then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close escapes.
So, well, I suppose if you were winning, you were right.
Yeah, just say one day we go from 100 Creek back to Midnight and had Ray Jarvis and he'd just joined us. The team that and we thought, well, we'll give him a bit of education on catching cattle and tying them and that sort of thing. Anyway, the bull 4 or 5-year-old jumps up. So we enter him and we chase him on and start rocking. We tell Jacko Ray to jump off and catch him, which he did. And he would have made a real good hand, Ray, if he had stuck with it. He was good and smart. But anyway, we got him down, knee strung him. That's to cut the tendon about 3 or 4 inches above the knee.
What's it called when you do that?
Knee strung, like you say, knee strung. And you had to be careful, otherwise you'd cut the whole skin. You used to just have to cut the tendon and that sort of stuff. And anyway, we knocked the horns off him and that. And next thing, head stockman Phil Morris, he's got his shirt off and he's going to bullfight him. And the bull's made a bit of a run at him. He stepped back and he didn't realise these logs were behind him. He's fallen arse over the log. And just then the bull fell down, the one with knee strung. The bull fell down on the ground and he had his head on near Phil's. Phil jumped up in his shadow sparring and boxed him.
But he was good on his feet. He wouldn't normally fall over.
Oh, no, it's only the logs. He tripped over the logs.
Yeah. And then the bull fell on top of him.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That was lucky. What about you, Dad? You have any near escapes?
Oh, 1 or 2 times you go to get their tail and the flaming head was there instead of their tail. It was around too quick.
They come around.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times. Yeah, just got off a bit too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was lucky. There was a tree there I could jump behind. And then you get them to charge the tree. Hits the tree. And then you got to have them to get them off you. You'd have to get them to run away from you. And so you'd be there behind the tree, thumbing them in the eye, which I said before I learnt from this bloke. I learned that from Nugget Roser. Yeah. Yeah. And then when they turn to run away, then you grab them by the tail, and it's usually pretty shitty. And you just wrap the brush around your hand so it won't slip.
And then that's how you get them down. So you weren't never scared doing it?
No, it was just fun.
Tell you a story about Duncan McConnell and that. We're still at Hungry Creek and we used to use the two-way into the station and find out what news was going on or whatever. Anyway, this day Duncan's out in the camp and he dials up and that and comes on the radio. He said, "G'day, Dale, how are you?" And she comes back and says, "Is that you, Noel?" He said, "No, Dale." He said, "It's Duncan here." I found him to be a good boss.
You did too, Bronc?
I used to get into trouble with the same radio. I'd be talking to old Duncan on it and forget to press the button and I'd rip it up and he'd press the button, Lord. Can't talk without pressing the button. Have to start again.
Were you here when he was dropping notes out of the sky to someone? What happened then?
Oh, he just put them in a bloody envelope or something and something heavy and let them.
So he'd visit here, he'd fly over
Just drop them.
and drop a note.
Yeah.
Tell you where the cattle were.
Yeah, righto. And I heard once it got stuck in a tree. Do you know that story?
No, I don't know.
And all the men down below couldn't get it because it's in the tree. So he came around again and he could see him down there. He drops another note. Instead of telling them what the first note said, he goes, chop the tree down. Dad, what about, there was a time you and Phil Morris and Kevin Whedon nearly had a near miss.
Yeah, that was when the tranquilizer first came out. And the thing is, you had to have the right amount of, the right size dope to put, or, the right amount to put into them. If you put too much in them to kill him, they go to sleep. If you didn't put enough into them, it didn't affect them. I had this beast down and tied, and this Yank comes along and stuck a dart in its rump. And the dart went into the beefy part of the rump. And as it hit the beast, it automatically inserted the fluid into the beef. As soon as it hit it, it released a valve inside. And so you didn't have to go around there for an injection anyway. It worked pretty good. If you had the dose work right, they just looked like they were dope. You wanted to go to sleep and you could walk up and pat them over the head or do anything like that.
Which you'd never do normally.
Which you normally wouldn't, no. Anyway, this day was this fellow, Kevin Whedon and I, Phil sent us up. He sent us two little blokes up, and then he realised, oh gee, that fellow sitting on the straps and they were tipping, the fellow putting on tipping over. So Phil come up to help us. Anyway, as he was sitting there in the straps, up in Wattle it was, this whipstick Wattle. We were walking up and head on, which you don't always do, even if they're in the straps, because they could hit the straps and come here. But we let them up before, and this tranquilizer was doing a damn good job. But this fellow had no effect on him. And the three of us were walking up in the Wattle, and this Kevin Whedon was in the middle of us, Phil, Kevin Whedon and me. And just as we walked up this plane, we walked in the straps and hit Kevin in the gut like that. And he went, hope he's like that. No,
did he have horns?
Oh yeah, he had big horns and speary ones. Anyway, I ripped he's on the ground and he was gurgling, trying to get his breath, and I ripped his shirt up and I thought his belly be all opened up. But it wasn't, he was just winded. His horns must have went around him. Oh, yeah. He was so lucky. But that was the one near miss. And Kevin, you got a hell of a fight, naturally. So did we, because we thought we didn't know what we find once we ripped his shirt open. But he was all right, as I said, just winded him.
Do you remember Kevin Whedon?
Kevin Whedon. Was he Rocky?
He was a horse breaker. They found him in the horse records.
He had a brother that came into the cattle camp. They're both about the same size. The other fellow, the horse breaker, was more athletic and that sort of thing.
Yes,
These are both that got lost.
What happened to him?
In the theatre, we sent him home to run the horses from up here near J Gully, and all the cattle tracks coming down from the mountains. It looked like a road. We told him about watching for that, you go across it, but he hasn't. He's gone up the valley into the mountains, and he didn't get home till about 9 o'clock, where Cook had a shotgun, and he's out shooting the shotgun off, and that sort of stuff.
He bet you made his way home. Who was the cook? Do you remember?
Harry somebody. He'd been a manager and that.
Harry Gassman with the one leg?
No.
Larry wasn't here then. He left here 58, old Larry. No, he never come back.
Did you ever see him again?
No, I seen him in town. His old Ernie was living in town. He used to live with him. I don't know where he got to after that.
So there was another cook called Harry after him.
Yeah.
What's the name was in there at the Bob Lambert.
Yeah.
He'd be here and he'd be going to the station. Old Land Rover, and going in to get tucker and stuff anyway, and he'd say, who wants this and who wants that? Everybody wanted toothpaste or tobacco or bloody soap or something. And you'd just tell him. He'd never write nothing down.
Yeah.
He'd ride back here and pull up over there somewhere. And hand it all out. He'd have every bit that was everybody asked for, and he never wrote a thing down.
Good memory.
Yeah, he'd just have the tucker, and then he'd have all the parts that everybody else wanted.
He reminded me of Cell Vital. Do you want to tell me a story about the Cell Vital?
Yeah, well, that was when Nugget and them were building that yard over on the sandstone. And it was hot weather, and we all had water bags, and we bought Dougie out, Blacko Adams' store out of Cell Vital. We had a tin of Cell Vital as every bloody water bag. Anyhow, and we bloody used to have a drink of water, get the fill up water with Cell Vital drink. And at night time he'd be passing blokes going up and down the gully. Anyway, and we run out. Good years, they should have been more than that. And we went to Burlington, and that bloody Brant Gook was here, and he unrolled his swag and these 6 tins. We all had 6 tins each.
Yeah.
And he still had his, he drank all ours, so we soon cleaned it up over at Burlington for him.
Yeah.
And he was...
He didn't like spending money.
Oh, no. Well, at other time, he used to bet on things, and he had a win with old Jim Bell. So anyhow, I used to buy a casket ticket, and he wasn't going to buy it, and I talked him into it, or told him he had to. Anyway, he bought it, and they won 1,000 quid. And he still had his 500 quid when he got back from Brisbane to collect them. Old Jim's paid for all the tickets and tucker and everything on the way back.
Didn't spend any of his. So, Dad, you were saying that you'd get sent to town for supplies, and how much Cell Vital did you have to buy?
36 tins.
How many?
36. They wanted. We all wanted about 6 tins each.
Yeah.
And,
What did they do at Adams's when you went
they
in
just
and
laughed at it. We only used to keep about half a dozen.
you bought the lot?
Bought the lot, yeah.
We had to do that.
It used to send you to the toilet, that's why we used to get it. Plus there was a fizzy drink, so you put it in, and the more you put in, the stronger it was, until you didn't want to get too far away from the tree, it just affected you.
Did you drink it after Glenhaughton?
Oh, yeah, I've had it. Yeah, we always had it.
Yeah.
So it was a good drink. It was a tasty drink.
Yeah, beautiful drink.
Fizzy.
Yeah.
Just to that
Used
little
to
bubbles
fizz.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more you put in, the more it fizzed, and you had to drink it quicker, it overflow over your cup, but it used to all come up. Yeah. I still got the old Cell Vital tin at home. We used it to put our tea leaves in. Yeah.
And the radio.
Yeah. Right, Dale, did you have Cell Vital? Do you remember it? Yeah.
Yeah, we used to have Cell Vital. Yeah, when I used to go out to Peter Griffiths and other places where I used to work, like glass of Cell Vital, blue bottle.
So do you remember having it as a kid out here?
Oh no, I can't remember it as a kid, but I can remember him always talking about Cell Vital.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in a blue tin that I can remember when I was a kid, yeah.
What about your memories out here at the Tin Hut? What are your memories of this place? What's it feel like being back here?
No, it's great to come back and just see it stand here and that. I know there's been a lot of big changes on that, but it's just a matter of sort of being here, and that makes you feel good inside.
Yeah, proud you're Ringers. Yeah.
Once you work there now, you never forget it, eh?
No, it
It's
is.
always in your mind. Yeah. It was a young fella's dream was to get a job on Glenhaughton in those days. Yeah.
I've heard a number of people say this weekend that if you had a job at Glenhaughton, you could get a job anywhere in Australia if they knew you'd worked at Glenhaughton.
Yeah.
A lot of people have said
Pretty
that.
wide down. I've heard it all up in the Gulf and that when I went away from here.
Yeah, that's right. That's what Phil Morris said. He went out in the centre and come back, and I asked him who was camping next door to him, where you come from, and he said, "Oh, you wouldn't know. I come from a little town called Taroom on the Dawson River." And this bloke would say, "Yeah, of course we know about it. Best bit of cattle country in Australia." And they used to say that to us travelling around right up the west coast of Western Australia. They knew about Taroom. You know?
But and Bronc, when you said you would have had no trouble getting work if they knew you were from.
No, I've always had a job. I've never been without a job. I don't know why it is these days that they can't get jobs. There was always work around then. You be in Taroom there for 5 minutes, you'd have a job somewhere.
So how does it feel to be back here together? You three all worked together over 60 years ago.
No, it's fancy. It's really, really
I've
good.
seen this fella for a long time.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen Bronc. What, it's been 60 years since I've seen him. Just like yesterday.
Yeah.
Hasn't
You don't forget.
Yeah.
He still tells the same story and the bullshit the same way.
Yeah. Don't talk much about it, but
Which makes it well worthwhile coming back and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
You're just still mates like you were 60 years ago.
Yeah.
well, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you work here, you never forget the place. Yeah.
No,
You never ever forget it.
I don't forget how to get in here. They got all the different roads now.
But only the one
Need a
down
compass.
there.
Check his feeling like his beer.